So let's just talk. Just talk. No
So,
structure.
What are we going to talk about?
Anything we should learn. Because the miseducation that we suffer as a generation is what has really. The funny thing is that we think we are moving forward, but we are actually going backwards.
Yeah. You see that if you read the paper blues, you've been in the Christian fellowship, so you know about the paper blues.
I've heard about them, never read them.
Right. Those are the decrees by the various popes as to what must happen within the Catholic community. So there was a point one of the popes issued a bull which authorized the enslavement of non-Christians and shared the world first among the Roman Catholics of Portugal and the Roman Catholics of Spain. Once they shared the world amongst all the discoveries they're supposed to have made must be shared amongst these people. So when the Portuguese came, they divided the coast of West Africa. They started first with the Grain Coast, which is today's Liberia, Sierra Leone area. Then they came to the Ivory Coast, which still exists today, and got down to the Gold Coast, which has changed into Ghana. Then the final one was the Slave Coast. And then you ask the question, what happened before a place could be called the Slave Coast? Was there a previous slave business which has gone on? Yes. The enslavement
I get what you're saying.
of the people in the so-called ancient Egypt. You know there was an original name for the place before they changed it. The Greeks changed it into Egypt. The Arabs also embarked upon their trans-Saharan slave trade. They called it trade, but it was no trade. When you go and capture people in their houses, and most, especially the Arab raiders, when they catch mainly the young men, they will cut off the skins.
Wow.
They cut it in the middle so that the young men can never give birth. So you have eunuchs. The secretary to the Holy Prophet Muhammad, they say we should always say peace be upon him, was a eunuch.
Wow.
Because they have cut off his male organ. And the youth along the East African coastline, they were treated the same way. Some were sent into India and sold. Those brought to Cairo, the Westerners, the Germans, and all came and bought them. There was this peculiar case of a young lady who was taken from Ethiopia to Cairo and sold on the Cairo slave market. And she was bought by a prince from Germany who already had a wife way back in Germany. But when he was visiting, he saw this girl. He was very enthused and he took her away. He bought her and took her away. And was boasting. That was one of the finest purchases they had made. A young girl became his concubine. He kept her somewhere, whilst the wife too was somewhere. And he glorified himself. And these are the people who were supposed to be Christians. They had brought civilization to the world.
Supposedly.
Oh, yeah, that is their version of
civilization.
So when they came,
our enemies are many, and they stand ready to pounce upon and exploit our every weakness. They play upon our vanities and flatter us in every kind of way. They tell us that this particular person or that particular country has greater or more favorable potentialities than the other. They do not tell us that we should unite, that we are all as good as we are able to make ourselves once we are free.
Don't fucking move on. Shoot your fucking ass, bitch. Tase his ass. Why are you so angry?
I'm angry because it's been going on forever. Forever. Enough is enough. We're waiting for a back. I will, sir. No worries. I will. Fuck. He just shot his arm off. We got pulled over on Larpener.
I told him not to reach for it. I told him to get his hand out.
You told him to get his ID, sir, and his driver's license. Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead. Please don't tell me my boyfriend just went like that.
Keep your hands where they are, please.
Yes, I will, sir. I'll keep my hands where they are. Please don't tell me this, Lord. Please, Jesus, don't tell me that he's gone. Please don't tell me that he's gone. Please, officer, don't tell me that you just did this to him. You shot 4 bullets into him, sir. He was just getting his license and registration, sir.
Mid-20th century is Africa's. This decade is the decade of African independence. Forward then to independence. To independence now. Tomorrow, the United States of Africa.
first, what did they do? The whites got to realize that those blacks, when you are entering into Cairo by air, you fly over the Sphinx. And the Sphinx will, when you look down, you get down, you will see the Sphinx and you realize that, no, this can be only by black people. Because it resembles the black man according to the Herodotus. So, they had to take over the place. The Greeks came to learn first from the wise men, and gradually they were changing the names of the places, and they succeeded in changing it. And up till today, some of the Greek names remain. Like you had the port city of Alexandria, you have Coptos, from which they claim that the Coptic language originated. But what was the original language of the Egyptians? If you go into it, the original language of the Egyptians didn't just vanish into thin air. It exists somewhere on the African continent.
Exactly.
So why not find it?
Because there will definitely be population behind them.
Yes.
That they would also move on and pass on.
So there is something, the knowledge is that yesterday I was seeing, I had already seen it in my calendar. You saw the picture.
Yes.
Now, the translation from the Ma'at symbol, which led, then you see the winged bar, the soul of that person who was being mummified, has a human head with a bird body and flying. Then after that one, they made the wooden glider. Then when you look at the Abydos mystery stelae, you will see the Hercules helicopter which is being manufactured today. They had made those ones long ago. The submarines, everything had been made by the ancient Egyptians. And that was contained on the stelae called the Abydos stelae. Then in Pinterest, you look at the Pinterest picture and you see it clearly. They have picked the Hercules helicopter and then the Abydos mystery stelae. So the people who had all this knowledge were the people who built the pyramids. They credited Pythagoras for a theorem which existed before his grandfather was born. So these people, they had written things down. But when they came, all the whites came with the Arabs, they could not understand what has been written. And they mistakenly broke down the temples which were the centers of education. And the people had gone. So you have to find them. And in finding them, you have to trace where they might have passed, entered into Africa. So you go to Congo, Kinshasa today, and they are finding traces of Egyptian pharaonic presence there. Some of the things, the stelae and the temples are in Congo. And you come to this area you will find in West Africa. So when the whites were arguing that it was some strange characters, extraterrestrials who came.
Really?
Yes. The pyramids, they said, were constructed by some big-headed extraterrestrials who came and built it. No human being could have built that one.
Because that's the knowledge they are passing on. I know there are a lot of programs that is being run to the masses, and these are amounting a lot of wealth. And the knowledge they are feeding the masses is that these were
extraterrestrials. They came from outside the earth. Okay. They came from outside to build it. That is why the whites cannot understand the technology used.
So they're inferring that there's no way a black man could put up
do
such
that
structure.
But then you will see that the blacks started the production of aircraft, the ships.
So wait, when you speak like that, are you literally saying production of aircraft or just drawings and that's it? They didn't really produce
No,
anything?
they have the wooden glider. Then when you look at the Abydos mystery stelae, you will see that what is being produced today was copied from what they had originally done. The drawing, you look at the helicopters they have today, and you look at what was contained on the stelae, the submarines and all these things, then you will start wondering. These people, they couldn't have left it this way. Like I said about the aircraft. First they started with the Ma'at symbol. With the Greeks, the Icarus brothers claimed they were the first people to have waxed feathers to their arms and launched the world into the aviation age some 100 and something years ago. Then the Wright brothers of the US also claimed the same thing. But how do you do the thing when there is a picture of the Ma'at showing that this has been in existence over 6,000 years ago? Then you have, from that phase of waxing feathers to the arms, you have the bar, the alter ego of the dead person who is being mummified, flying over the body, being mummified. Then comes in the wooden helicopter, the glider. So from the glider, where do they go? And there is that secret which made them not to identify the language of the ancient Egyptians. Because if you identify the language, then the people will start identifying themselves that, oh, they are descendants of those who built this civilization.
Yeah.
And the naming of the river called Nile today was done by these people. And you can only acquire that knowledge if you are flying over and looking at the river. So you see Sada, the divine snake. The river meanders like a snake. So the Nile Valley looks like the movement of a snake. So they made it Sada.
So was it like it was a physical snake manifesting, or just
No,
the shape?
how the river shapes itself. And then you see the forehead of the pharaoh. There is the head of the snake. So they gave respect to the snake. So you have another name-bearing snake like the Jordan. So when you are in difficulty, invoke the snake.
So that's the meaning of Jordan.
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 But that's what they've changed into
To Jordan.
Jordan.
They introduced the J to cover it up. Then we had the Lord Gautama Buddha. Gautama Buddha.
Gautama Buddha.
Yes.
What does it mean?
You see those working in the metal field, they say that if they don't respect the snake deity, they might have some metal accidents. So to avoid metal accidents, they show respect to the snake deity. But when the people left with this system, they created a home for the snake deity, which is now Home, the house of the snake.
Da.
Home.
Da. So the same da is at the end of Yoda.
Buddha. Yoda. Sada. So they create, and you go to any of the Buddhist shrines, the commonest thing you can find is the snake. When you look at the Book of the Dead, you see a lot of snakes manifesting therein. And who are these people who has to find them? So they tried and came and created the slave coast of West Africa. You get to...
So in the pursuit of the people
who developed the knowledge system, you have to come and trace them. And they were tracing, first they got the grains, they said, no, we have got the grains, why? We want it. We have got the ivory, we want it. We have got the gold, we want it. But we want the people themselves. So from longitude 3 minutes east, up to the bight of Biafra, down to the entrance of the Congo River into the sea, they created the slave coast. And the slave coast, what were they looking for? The people. And they took the people, sent them, scattered them.
So what you're literally saying is that what we read from the Bible, that says that the God of Israel was upset because the children of Israel broke the laws, and that he sent them into slavery. That was actually not the case. That's not the story of our fathers.
No, you look at that story. How can you wash? Where did they get the story of the Bible from? They got the story of the Bible. In fact, they wrote the whole Bible from what existed. They claimed it was the Hebrew Torah. But the Hebrew Torah, supposedly written by the Hebrews, should have been in some Hebraic language, but not in the hieroglyphs. that the whole thing was written in hieroglyphics. At the time, the Hebrews and the so-called Jews, they got those names whilst they were living in the Nile Valley. And there was no time where the Exodus moved across the Red Sea into the land. No. Even their own writings today are telling you that the Exodus started from Goshen in the Nile Delta and crossed into Sinai. So they couldn't have crossed the river.
Yeah.
And then the major river they have around that stretch was the Jordan. It means the people who were here, some of them went there. Then they have you have the Kaaba. In the desert, the people should definitely be blacks. So what happened to them? And if they truly moved across the Red Sea, and the sphinxes are telling you that they have been constructed by blacks, it means that people who left the valley were blacks. Or if they crossed into Sinai, into Syria and all these things, they should be blacks. But you can't have black populations there.
Yeah.
What happened to the blacks? Something definitely happened.
So the whole story of God being upset is all...
No, God, if He is the creator of the universe and He created all human beings, He could not have discriminated against any of His creations. If He discriminated, then it meant that that is not the creator God.
It makes sense, because if He intended to create, means everything is coming into creation because He intended.
Yeah.
So if He didn't want that thing to exist, He wouldn't have created it in the first place.
And if He created it, He should love all that He created. And in fact, if you read the Bible and you read from the Book of the Dead, Wallace Burgess' version of the belief system of the inhabitants of the Nile Valley, says that God could never have gotten angry with anybody. And God could not have asked Moses, who was supposed to be a murderer, to take his people out of the Nile Valley. And then the people were taken out of the Nile Valley and sent. Then when they read the Sinai, they were complaining that they were hungry.
Yeah.
So they were anxious to go back to where they came from. If God relieved them from the wickedness of the Pharaoh, why do they still want to go back there? Well, something should definitely have gotten wrong.
It means when they compare the wickedness to what they
were
facing
suffering
at the time,
in the desert.
the wickedness was better.
Better.
So it means, in this sense, the God that is taking them somewhere is more wicked
than the Pharaoh for whom they were running. So let us go back to where we came from. And then Moses comes. Moses is supposed to have gone on top of the mountain to collect the 10 Commandments.
The Torah itself.
Yes, and then he comes down and realizes that people are worshipping idols like the Egyptians. So he hits the slab on the ground and it breaks into pieces. And that is the child selected by God who destroys his commandments. And then the commandments are written in hieroglyphs. If you look at some of the writings, I had an interview with a guy the other time, and I showed him the hieroglyphs. Hieroglyphics. You look at this one. But I showed him one where you will see that there were serious gaps in the writings. Then I was asking, what happened? How did they construct? In fact, the book of Matthew, had the colored picture. I haven't prepared my. You look at this one. Look at this one up there. How will you construct the rest and call it the Bible?
How did you get the knowledge to read it? How did you get the knowledge to read it?
Yes, that is what they claim was deciphered by the Frenchman Jean Champollion. That he understood Greek, he read the Greek, then he saw the hieroglyphs, then after the hieroglyphs he saw the demotic writings. Then he concluded that they were the same things which have appeared all over the place.
But then how did you understand it? How did you come into understanding?
Once he has gotten the hieroglyphs and the demotic, and he understands Greek, so he concluded that that was the same thing being said.
But the people didn't speak Greek.
No. The interesting thing is that the Hebrews have allegedly written their Torah, and then when the Greek Ptolemy...
I hope it's okay to put my feet.
No problem. Ptolemy Philadelphus was the Greek boss of Egypt after Alexander the Great, supposed to be the Great, had left. Then he left. He allowed Ptolemy to create a dynasty in Egypt. So Ptolemy Philadelphus II recruited some priests from the temples, and 72 or 70 to 72 priests who were supposed to be Jewish intellectuals, and they transcribed what had been written in the hieroglyphs into ordinary Greek. So today you have the Greek city of Alexandria with a pope of the Eastern Orthodox Church, and they have a branch here. You know there is the Greek Eastern Orthodox Church branch in Ghana.
I didn't know that.
Oh, it exists in Ghana. In fact, some years back, their pope from Alexandria came here on a visit. And he came and visited his members. So they have created all those ones. And our people glorify that they are Greek Orthodox people. They belong to the Greek Orthodox Church.
But why the need to go through all this for this cover-up?
If you don't do the cover-up, you are telling the people they are inferior. They are not equal to the white race. The people should recognize that, in fact, what you are doing is something that they have done, their ancestors have done, then you will not have any respect. So in order to acquire respect from them, like we are going into homosexuality now, with attitude to the government.
I heard that and I was really, really surprised.
Why? What do you want? Money. Those papers they print things on and they call them dollars. And everybody is anxious to get dollars. So, our government, when they give you $20 million, you are so grateful. Meanwhile, you have resources worth more than the $20 million. Whereas for the $20 million, it won't go into any governmental account. You can just use it how you like. Otherwise, COVID comes and you rush to the IMF, World Bank, and to go and collect money. And you can use neem leaves and you treat yourself. But our people have been brought up in such a manner. Like you look at the president when he was responding to Al Jazeera, said during his school days in the UK, was not allowed. But as time went on, with advocacy and all these things, so they accepted. And that's what he wants us to do. And he has been given the money and he has taken it. And they are bent. The only thing we spoiled their game plan was their failure to secure the absolute majority they had in parliament. But they are trying to scheme around it. And all those around the president are the same people he had renominated because the agenda must be fulfilled. Else, the people will come and demand their money. And they have put up their secretariat in Ashoma area there. And you have the rippling effects of homosexuality in our country.
It's just fascinating the richness of the history that our fathers left behind, and how shallow we have become. I mean, people like you, we honor you every day, but especially my generation, the younger ones, how shallow we have become to think that we have to be educated by these same people who got education from our fathers.
That is the extent to which we have an educational system which is designed to miseducate us. They always make us believe. When you go to the school, they tell you that all the things you do in your homes, the traditional religious setup and what have you is bad. Until such time that you recognize Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior, you will not enter into the kingdom. And we have our people who are geared up, ensuring that we believe that the Greek Zeus is the Jesus Christ who has come to save us from all the ills of the world. And you go to school, now the agenda had been dropped from class 1 down to the kindergarten daycare center level, where the children will be taught every morning about Jesus Christ and his goodness. And you will continue learning that one. You went to the Department of Religions in Obafemi Awolowo University in Ile-Ife. And we were talking about traditional African religion. The head of the Department of Religions, we were in his office and some of the students were just on the corridor. They were holding their religious, Christian religious worship. And I said, "Oh, Prof, what's happening?" He said, "Oh, they are praying." In the headquarters of the Ifa divination system.
They penetrated that headquarters.
Oh, they are there. They are there in it. And the university, there is a hill within the university campus. The cars will come from town. They are all heading towards it for worship center. Just like we have in Achimota Forest. They all believe that Jesus has gone to prepare a place and he will be coming back to take them.
But people have this point of view that our fathers' ways could not save us, could not do anything for us, could not change anything. In fact, it led us into bondage. It led us into darkness.
Which type of bondage?
Bondage as in people were dying, people were being killed, curses were being invoked, gods were killing people. This is the narrative that is out there. So since Christianity have come to detach us from all these gods, from all these idol worship, from all these things, and I don't have to sacrifice anything, I don't have to pour anything, I don't have to do anything. Why don't I just follow Christianity, which presents freedom, liberty, instead of all these constraints that we had from our spirituality. And he failed our fathers. That's why our fathers were not knowledgeable and stuck in the villages, and we are in the cities.
We are in the cities and we are dying young. They live in the villages, they produce everything that they needed. They ensure that the society grows orderly. But we have come to the so-called city. And like last Sunday, I was walking from our center to Tema Station. The stench. The stench is too terrible. And you can't imagine what is happening. This morning, I left, I went to Omanjo, that's beyond Abeka. And I was taking some shortcuts here. I will pass through the Presbyterian EP church. Okay, it's finished. I'll pass through the...
The weather is a bit cool, it's not hot.
Yeah. I'll pass through the EP church. But when I read the gate was locked, I went down this way, passed through I know it was Christian Fellowship something, and dropped. There is another gate by the transformer there. I read there the gate had been locked, so I decided to go just straight down. The road was being constructed for the election. Once the election is over, they've left it. And I went and read the dead end. All the water flowing from the top going is stuck there, and the whole place is stinking. I tried to maneuver my way through. Some young man was passing and he saw me. He saw my difficulty. So he pulled me, I climbed the gutter. And so it's good. It's a nice lesson. I won't pass that way again. I was thinking whether I should come back all the way and find another route. I said, shortcut will do me. But if I were to have attempted it, you wouldn't have met me here. Maybe I might be in hospital because I have a problem with my sciatica. And just at that moment, it started paining me. I raised my right leg and put on the tip of the gutter. I said, no, I can't raise the left. So the best I may do is just to turn and get back. And then I saw this young man, and he came and helped me. The whole Bible, when you look at it, and you read what Herodotus wrote, said the people of the Nile Valley possess the powers of divination to interpret the will of God. What is the powers of divination? Is the Ifa?
Because they painted us as the devil's powers.
Yes, but that's what you see. Look at them. They are all learning the divination system.
Which these images I really have a problem with.
Yeah.
Especially allowing these people, which you know who these people are, to come into our shrines, to come into our spirituality, our ways, to learn from us and take it and go and educate their people.
Yes, that is the problem we have. Trying to tell our people that these ones are negative energies. They want to destroy us. They want to see the secrets we have, which makes us resilient, capable of resisting all their attacks. But when they are given some small something, they are happy. You call some of the shrine keepers and be talking to them that, no, don't teach them. If you don't teach them, we won't get the dollars and we can't survive.
It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. When I see things like that, I'm like, which part of the miseducation, which part of the slavery, which part of the cruelty that our fathers, our elders, our brothers and sisters have gone through, don't you understand?
Who is running the educational system, agents of the white man. And they go. They now target the children of the divine priests, give them scholarships to come to school.
Wow.
And they teach them how good Jesus is, that you go to heaven. He is preparing a place. So the children, even when they are grown,
when they see the father,
they say, so you are still in this negative environment. If you should die without being they have a term for it. If you don't change and you die, I won't bury you. I won't give you my money. Forgetting that it was from that same
place,
process that you were given the opportunity to be miseducated. Now, believing that when you grow, you will come and see the falsehood of what you are being taught in school.
Because you have had a first-hand experience.
Yes, you rather grow, and they are taken into the white man's culture, and they leave their own culture behind. I was talking to someone, I said, look at the situation in which we are. We have justices, and they wear singlet, some will wear round neck, they will wear long sleeves, they will wear the coat, then they will wear that gown on top and put the wig on. They will be suffering, they will be sweating, but still, it's part of the game.
And the wig they put on is always a blonde.
Yes. You have no choice.
Not the African hair. It's
No.
always
Yes.
the blonde hair. We're telling you that you cannot rule your people. You don't have
You
any.
don't have brains. So a friend at Kwando Court, we've been discussing this election petition. He said, you see, NDC, you didn't put your case across well, so the justices are going to dismiss it. I said, where did you attend school? He was a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So when he came and joined Africania, I asked him, your name, do you understand? Say, why? Say, your name tells you something. Your surname indicates the type of character you are. He said, no. He doesn't understand. I said, your father or your grandfather was gotten out of the magnanimity of a shrine. That's why you have that name. He said, what do you mean? I said, when you are called a clue.
What was the name?
A clue.
A clue.
All clues you will find.
I know
Some will say it's a clue, some is a clue, but the actual name is clue, K-L-U. The name clue tells you that you were born out of the magnanimity of the deity in a shrine.
Wow.
The same with the person you call in the Bible Samuel. So when you read the first chapter of the book of Samuel, you read it, you will see the pledge that Hannah made.
Oh.
No razor was to touch the hair.
Oh.
So where did she go? She was in the temple.
In the
They
shrine.
call it temple. It's a shrine.
But because it is the same system that we have in our spirituality, where when you go to a shrine and whatever God you have there gives you a child, you literally dedicate the
The
child.
child to the service of the shrine. So Eli had his children. But when it came to a time that someone should take over from him, he didn't give it to his children.
It was the
He
child that
gave
was
it to-
dedicated to
Yes.
the shrine.
So by that one, you are called a clue. Some are called Amuzu.
Oh, wow.
Some are Akakbo. They are all children of one deity or the other. And their birth has some mystery attached to some divinity. So if you are bearing that name, you are called a Klu or Kluga, and you don't know, you don't understand, and you pride yourself. I told you, no. Your name is telling you something. He said, what? Say, either your father or your grandfather was gotten from the magnanimity of the shrine. The deity helped. He said, no. But I'm Michael. He
said, I'm Michael.
Yes, he's Michael. I said, no, you are not Michael. You owe your allegiance to the shrine. He has been refusing, and last then he called me, he says, no, things are not going well for him.
Exactly.
So, where can I take him to? Say, go back to your own home. There is something in your house there. He said, no, he doesn't know any place. He called the mother and told the mother that I said he must go back to his home. That I said there is a stool in his home. Then the mother said, who is that? I would like to talk to him. So he did a conference call. Then the mother said, why am I saying that? Said, the house you come from, there is a royal house. Your child owes something to the stool. Said, yes, but now I have 10. I am now a Christian, so I can't go there. So your child is suffering, and you say you are a Christian. You wait. When you lose him, then you come to realize that I have told you something. The child said, no, he would like to go there. If the mother is not prepared to go, he doesn't bother. So I said, okay, I will make the contact and let you know. Then I called a friend and told the friend that there is this stool in your area there. Do you have any idea? Then I called the name. He said, yes, he is from that house. We should come. He will take us to the place. I said, okay, you get it now. And I told him, the justice system you are having is no justice. Because that was what our ancestors were doing. And they came and said it was negative. Or I told him, you go back into your church records and check on what is the Turin judicial papyrus. Papyrus does not grow in Turin. So they took it from Egypt. They took it from Egypt. The judiciary, the name judiciary came from Justine, the Roman overlord. And he named the papyrus Turin Judicial Papyrus. Otherwise, it was the laws of the ancient Kemites, which was taken and put into Turin. So the laws and the practices in our various homes and shrines, they have changed all and Christianized it.
It's sorry to cut you short, but it's funny because when you check our kinship system and when you see the way when you go to the palace, you see first you see the chief or the king sitting at the highest seat. Then to his right, to his left, you have all the elders and all the sub chiefs. Then you get to the linguist. Then when you come to court, no, when you come to, let me say in the palace, when you come to the palace, there's no way you can talk to the chief directly. You have to go through the linguist to communicate whatever. It's basic, and whoever, and this is another thing, whoever went to the shrine with you literally becomes your spokesperson.
You narrate
narrate everything you are saying to the linguist, then the linguist will carry it forward.
The deity.
This is the same pictorial representation of what we have in a court system.
Yes, they copied it.
Wow.
And they renamed it.
Wow.
And we accepted this.
So they took our kinship system, our palace system, and
You see, we didn't even have the kinship system. We had the priest.
the priest. Yeah.
And the priest will never lie. If you are in the shrine environment and you try to lie.
Oh, I get where you're going.
So they replaced that one and said we are having chiefs and all these things. But no. The priest is the overall boss.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I get where. That's the same scenario with Samuel when they said they needed a king.
Yes.
So this is literally
What we have done. We have replicated that foolishness which happened there.
Yeah.
And Samuel said, oh, you want a king. You don't want the energy to rule you again. You will have a king. Okay. Then the deity said, no, Samuel, they are not rising against you. They are rising against me. So leave them. Then they were given the guy called Saul. And he took them on. And said, why? We had a color TV and we sold it for black and white. It's the same thing we have got now. You have a so-called judicial system. They are seeing that what they are saying is not correct. And they are still insisting.
But the priest will never lie.
No, the priest lies, he gets his punishment right there and there. We embarked upon some research. Tronkoshi, Shraj, they had some money from the Danes and they said they were going to conduct a research into Tronkoshi. So they went to some 2 shrines and they were told that if you don't have Africanian missions representative on your team, we will not allow you.
Wow.
Because some of your people come, you teach them, you tell them all the story, then they go and turn it the other way around. We will not tolerate that one. So I was asked to accompany them. We went to town district assembly at that time, and there was this district chief executive during Kufuor's time. We sat with her, she spoke at length, she narrated how girls have been imprisoned, so we should go there. And she cited an example of a shrine in Adan where it's been terrible. I said, Madam, it's unfortunate I have to disagree with you. So why? So the shrine you are talking about, that shrine closed down long ago because the priest did something which the deity opposes, and the deity took him off. And nobody can sit there. And you are saying that people are still imprisoned there. When she mentioned first, we said, okay, we are going there. But I assured my colleagues that you will not find anybody in prison there. So, they have been chained, the small girls are chained to, okay, let's go, no problem. The Danes have given you the money, you have to spend it. We drove and went. I went and arrived there, we spoke to the priestess. And they claimed that the priest have been having sexual relationship with the girls under his care.
Wow.
I said, no, this particular shrine is headed by a woman. The DCE talking does not know who has the place, assuming that all shrines are headed by men. Then we went and met the woman sitting there. Then she said, yes, you are welcome. Are you on Tronkoshi investigation? Say yes.
Oh, she knew your agenda of going before you even spoke.
She said people have been coming on this same thing. So okay, that is the place they all sleep. So they get open. You just remove your footwear and your top dress. The ladies amongst us, they will be given cloth. Then people say, no, they won't enter. I say, why? You traveled all the way to this place to come and see the imprisoned. They say, go in there and see them. They say, no, no, no. I said, no, you have to go. You have brought your cameras, take pictures. Nobody is going to prevent you. So you don't go back to Accra and tell different stories. They refused to go. Then I took one guy, we entered. And you can't see anybody in there. Took some pictures and we came out, joined the rest. Then we left. We went to some island in the Volta, Lower Volta. We went, we didn't see anybody. The priestess, we met her on the bank of the river and she said she was going to the hospital. And I said, ah. But they said you people don't go to hospital. So who says that? She goes to hospital. If it is a medical issue, she must go. So okay. So when we had those experiences, can you imagine? The meeting was called at Gimpa by the Baptist Church. And we arrived at the meeting, and the former head of Shraj was there, blabbing that they conducted the research and they found that the Tronkoshi experience is still going on despite the law. Say, Madam, you say your people conducted research and they found it. So let's see the report. Because I was part of the team. Your people cannot write any report. Say no. Then she called one of the staff, bring the report of the investigation into Tronkoshi in Lower Volta. Say, I would like to go with him to the office. He said, no, he will be coming back. We sat down there. Then people were saying that, why are you attacking the lady like this? Said there is no report. If she agrees that there is no report, then the money they collected they must refund. They can't refund that money, so they must create a report. And now that report you are creating, 2 years after the investigation, no report. Up till today, they can't present any report.
So because of the money, they would rather lie.
It's the same thing that is happening to the government. Things don't exist. You want to force it to be there. And once you attempt that one, you must manufacture some story. And the story will not fit. And the U.S. State Department conducted researches into Tronkoshi and condemned these NGOs. That they only use it as a front to come and collect money from donors. Unfortunately, some donors also fall for it. And they keep on collecting their taxpayers' money and giving it out to rogues. Yeah, I read one of the U.S. State Department reports to them, and they said, no, the U.S. made a mistake. That's okay. So it is with us today. We are seeing the truth and pretending it is not true. We have things going wrong in our society. But who is going to say something? Nobody. So the stages through which our society have passed, up to the time of miseducation, the misinformation which is being turned out by the print media, and now back with the social media, we will continue this way. Last Sunday, there was this African-American woman who came, said she went to the beach the Ascenta beach, and she saw the horrible conditions of the people there. So she initiated a move to get the place cleaned up of this polythene and all bottled, empty plastic bottles. He said we should contribute and help. I said, you're going to contribute to buy containers for them to. And the people are leading the life, the ghetto life. If you go to Ada, right up to Aflawu, then you go into Lome, you see that the beaches are all kept clean. But when you look at our crowd place, nobody has interest. And here we are. You go to this place, Teshi. You've been to the Teshi beach, the town beach. Dirty. Well, there was an MP who was cleaning, who claimed to be cleaning the place, and nothing comes. So until such time that our people get to realize that our rural folks, they will bury any refuse, which will decay. Not this polything we have entered into. When you go to them, their whole communities are clean. Except that we went and invaded their communities and we have destroyed everything. And we still continue to destroy because we have schools which ensure that the children are continuously miseducated.
Because if we have, so those days there were not schools and all of that, but yet we lived clean, we lived a very healthy life. And now we have all the school systems, what have you, but yet our lives are becoming more filthy and filthy and filthy. That is why I started a conversation with, like, we think we are moving forward, but we are actually,
we are regaining backwards into slavery.
Yes.
And we want people, we talk, and our learned people or advanced people, they have traveled. And they say, oh, when you go to America, it's not like this. But you have gone to America, you have seen that it's not like this. What are you doing in your own home? You are doing nothing. You are only contributing to making the place more filthier. A car has been parking, a taxi has been parking in front of my gate. And it's been there for a long time. So when the branches of the coconut fall after drying, then I will go and put them on top. And I did that one 3 times. Then he had moved the taxi from there. He parks it this way now. Because if you keep the place, your car there, we can't sweep in the morning. And we can't set fire to any refuse. The container there for the refuse, when those boboyas come, they take one, they say 12 CDs, 20 CDs. But when the leaves fall, we just pack the leaves, dried leaves, then set it on fire. Yep.
2 boxes are for Chialaboa.
Malati. But now he has packed it. Another one comes to pack there. And I don't know. I told a guy with the sub-metro to ensure that they don't use my place as a parking lot. There is a guy in the house back here, calls himself a mechanic. And his clients will come and park their cars here. And you look at the whole environment. Nothing is going on. But when we come back to our topic, that our society needs a reorientation. And you are the people who can reorient them. Yes.
we are just doing our little small corner.
Yes.
Just to.
In fact, there is a new wave which is developing that the youth are getting to realize that they have been led astray over a long time. When I was at Omanjo this morning, then someone called me. And I said, this number, I don't know. He said, yes, you don't know my number. Are you not OSOFO AHADZI? I said, I'm AHADZI. He said, yes. I've been looking for your number a very long time because I've been following your YouTube. I said, hey. So if I run away and go anywhere, you will come and catch me. I told him I was at a meeting. And when I come back, I'll call him. So when I came and I called him, I flashed him, he called me. And he said, okay, he comes from a Christian home. But he has realized that Christianity is not helping him. So he wants to know how best, if I can teach him something. I said, look, once you have initiated the move to know, you are finished. Go back to your home. The solution to your problem is in your home. Nowhere else. I cannot take what I have in my home and give to you. But I will encourage you, because that one in your home, you don't pay anybody anything. So you go to your parents and continuously pester them that you want to know. And they will be compelled to open up to you. I said, where do you come from? He said, Anyako. I said, okay, fine. Anyako, you see that when you are leaving Anyako coming to the main road, you see there is an island on your left. Say yes. Say next time we are doing the Bull Festival, come there. That's the way by which you will learn practically. Nobody will teach you.
What's the Bull Festival?
The Bull Festival, the Black Bull Festival.
When do you do it?
October. In fact, we should have done one. Today is the 20th. Yes, 22nd. 22nd February, 22nd October.
Wow, but you are not doing the 22nd?
February, somebody says that he holds the key. You were going to look for, I went around looking for the black bull so that we sacrifice,
I would really want to be part of that.
Perform the rituals for the Ancient of Days. See that the Rosicrucians, they will be in Egypt. By this time they have arrived, preparing.
So this weekend is
Monday,
Monday,
the 22nd.
Yeah, so from this weekend, from Friday all the way through to Monday. It's a very powerful weekend.
They will be there. But those were the things our ancestors were doing. Then they came, they turned it around and called it the Passover. Then the Passover, that was the preparation to leave. Then October 22nd, so that is the solar lumiere. The French changed it and called it the solar lumiere, because that's the day the sun will take his meal.
That's 22nd
October. So 22nd February, 22nd October, those are the key days in the year when the sun takes its meal. There is a place in the Nile Valley, the ancient Egypt, where they call the Black Bull Noon. So they offer the Black Bull to Amen-Ra, Osiris. They call it the Apis Bull. The French changed it. The British changed. Everybody is giving his own version to the thing that our ancestors were doing. So we said, okay, we will also repeat. Because we were those whose ancestors did the original one. So we'll do it. We have a group we go. And then when our ancestors arrived, the place where the Grand Master created the settlement called Anwoga. When he arrived there, there was a deity there. He says someone was smoking fish. And he said, no, nobody could have come here before me.
So the deity was smoking fish?
Yes, there was. He saw that they were smoking fish and there was nobody there. So he commanded whichever energy is there to coil before him. So the deity coiled before him. He said, I know, you are our master.
Oh,
So
wow.
I know you will be bringing your children here. Please allow me to serve them. He said,
Wait. So the deity was saying, please allow me to serve them?
yes, because he is the Grand Master. When our ancestors were coming, his mode of transportation is the crocodile. So when they reach a river body, then they have to cross the river. He talks to the crocodile. It stretches itself across. And they will walk on it, get to the other end.
This is not some story you're telling me.
Oh! So that's how our people moved, traveled.